It's a chilly day in Milwaukee, a few days before St. Patrick's Day, and we're standing on the east end of Greenfield Avenue on Milwaukee's near south side. We're looking over the west bank of the Kinnickinnic River, and as you can see behind me is a massive Great Lakes freighter, a ship named the Stewart Cort. And it has been spending the winter season here laid up in Milwaukee for repairs and routine maintenance. While waterways have not been a big form of transportation in America since the development of our rail network by the end of the late 19th century, ships and barges still play an important transportation role, hauling bulk commodities around the Great Lakes. You don't see ships in Milwaukee's rivers much anymore, but during the winter season, Milwaukee often hosts the lake's first 1,000-foot vessel. It's a mammoth ship named the Stewart Cort that had its start in the yards of the Ingalls Shipbuilding Corporation in Mississippi in 1970. It's an unusual-looking vessel, nicknamed Stubby, due to its odd appearance. When constructed, it was originally built in two sections, the bow or front, and then the stern or rear section. Together, the front and back sections formed a small ship 108 feet long and 75 feet wide. It was initially built short and narrow because it had to come through the St. Lawrence Seaway and Welland Canal locks, which are too small to handle a 1,000-foot vessel. So the combined bow and stern made its way up the Great Lakes in 1971 as a very strange-looking runt of a ship. Once on the Great Lakes, it was cut apart. Yes, there was even a "cut here" mark painted on the hull. The two ends were fastened together to a new 818-foot by 100-foot wide midsection in Pennsylvania. Christened the Stewart Cort after a vice president at Bethlehem Steel, it sailed on its maiden voyage in 1972. The Cort is the only 1,000-footer with its pilot house forward, and that is why it has a pug-nose finish, hence its nickname, Stubby. When complete, the Cort surpassed the great ship Edmund Fitzgerald in size and the several dozen other gargantuan Seaway-sized bulk vessels which had shared the honors since the mighty Fitz was built in 1958. Stubby's maiden voyage was a load of almost 50,000 tons of taconite pellets, besting fleetmate Arthur B. Homer's 1971 record by over 20,000 tons. As you can see, this is a really big boat. If you see it in the distance from one of Milwaukee's streets, you initially assume it's a building. It's really that large. Just for a comparison, it is almost 20 feet longer and 8 feet wider than the famously huge Titanic. But the volume of the Stubby Cort is much bigger than the Titanic. It does not have the sleek and trim lines of an ocean passenger steamer. It was built to be a massive tub to haul taconite pellets. Taconite is a very low-grade iron ore, a natural rock that contains less than 15% iron. It was never used commercially until after World War II, when the normal, more enriched iron ores in northern Minnesota were mined out and were no longer available. Dr. E.W. Davis of the University of Minnesota, along with other scientists and engineers, conducted years of laboratory tests and experiments to find a way to take the iron ore out of taconite rock. Until such a process was developed, it was not possible to use taconite profitably. After many years of hard work, a process was developed to create taconite pellets, concentrated marble-sized balls of iron ore. Taconite saved Minnesota's iron ore mining industry. You can see how the Cort is designed to carry massive amounts of taconite pellets. At her launch, the Stewart Cort was 270 feet longer than any other ship on the Great Lakes. Her pilot house, gallery, and crew accommodations are at the bow. On the rear is a unique cargo unloading system that was built into her stern. The unloading system is a short shuttle that extends over the side of the boat, allowing her to discharge taconite pellets quickly, but limits her to docks that can accommodate this process. The Cort has a steady run between the ore docks in Superior and the Bethlehem steel mill at Burns Harbor, Indiana. In a typical year, she makes about 40 trips yearly to the twin ports, Duluth and Superior, loading taconite at the Burlington Northern Santa Fe dock in Superior. Then she takes it to Indiana to Bethlehem Steel. No one ships taconite pellet in or out of Milwaukee. The Stewart J. Cort is just wintering here while light maintenance and repairs are made to get her ready for the next shipping season. Not many people come by this part of Milwaukee. The lakefront in most of Bayview, Milwaukee's near southeast side, is largely industrial, and much of the property appears abandoned now and underutilized. Years ago, this part of town was full of all kinds of industrial manufacturers that took advantage of the Kinnickinnic River as a great canal and shipped products on steamers all around the world, coming and leaving the Great Lakes through the St. Lawrence Seaway. Most of those operations are gone now, and the land that is down by the Kinnickinnic River and the lakefront in Bayview largely looks like an industrial wasteland. But it's a tribute to Milwaukee's past because it was these factories that allowed the city to grow. If you want to see what a truly big boat looks like, you'll need to get out here pretty quick. The Cort is going to set sail to start hauling taconite pellets again in about a week when the Great Lakes shipping season opens, when the ice is thawed off the northern regions of the Great Lakes. The Stewart J. Cort is a remarkably large vessel that dwarfs anything that is nearby.